Again, greetings and welcome to the Citywide Council for District 75's Busing Committee. My name is Christy Angel. I am the president for the Citywide Council for District 75. We have our second vice president, Stephanie Bonilla, who is the chair of busing. Tonight, she will be going over a few things. We do have a few updates, and we will leave the floor open for a few questions and answers, and we have some exciting news for you. With that being said, we were supposed to have translation in Spanish, Mandarin, and Bangla. Unfortunately, we are having a glitch somewhere in the matrix. So, what I can attempt to do is translate what I can in the languages that are in the chat. And then Vice President Bonilla does speak Spanish, so we can try to make this happen one way or the other. With that being said, I will join into helping people into the chat and helping your questions, and will now turn it over to our second Vice President, Bonilla. Are you able to unmute?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Stephanie Bonilla. I am your second vice president for CCD75. I am also your chair for busing committee. Buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es Stephanie Bonilla. Yo soy la representante, segunda vicepresidenta del Distrito 75. También soy la chair, sorry, la chair de la comité, del comité de las guaguas. Aquí estamos para hablar de muchas dificultades que estamos teniendo en este año escolar. So I will try my best to do both, but I will try to leave it for the ending. That way I could do the slides.
I am working on downloading to add into the chat the Spanish version of this guide.
No problem. Thank you. Oh, share. Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. As Miss Christy Angel stated, she will be adding the guide in the chat for everyone to have. This will have different resources on how to advocate for better busing in District 75, not just for your child, but for other students as well. La presidenta Miss Angel va a poner el guía en el chateo de Zoom para todos que puedan bajarlo en la computadora y puedan tener más guías en cómo abogar para su niño en el Distrito 75 para mejor guaguas. Why it matters. The current situation is we have lack of drivers, lack of paraprofessionals, delays, safety, and sensitivity. Sorry. Impact on our students. Many of our students thrive on routine, and transportation disrupts, whether it's delays, missed pickups, or changes to routes. Create unnecessary stress and behavior changes for them, leading to exhaustion and reduced availability to focus in the classroom, as well as home, because we all know when we get those late afternoon buses, it also alternates what happens in the home. Why parents' voice matters. Your voice as a parent matters because it brings urgency, expertise, and accountability to an issue that directly affects your child's future. By speaking up and advocating for change, you're not only fighting for your child, but also for the rights of every District 75 student to receive the safe, reliable transportation they deserve. So, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act idea mandates the students with disability to receive a free, appropriate public education. FAPE requires related services such as transportation to be provided with necessary for accessing education. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act prohibits discrimination based on disability in federally funded programs, including school transportation. Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, ensures that public transportation is accessible to individuals with disabilities. New York State educational law mandates transportation services for students with disabilities as part of their individualized education program, IEP. NYC Department of Education policies guarantees specialized transportation, example, door-to-door service for eligible students in District 75, provides protocols for parents to report and resolve transportation issues. Also, as another guarantee of specialized, you could also have a busing para. These are some of the rights. En el final, cualquiera que tenga preguntas en español, voy a poder contestar. These are documents issued and steps of actions that you could take. Documents
Buenas.
buenas.
Bueno, disculpa, es que lo que pasa es que, ¿cómo es esto de los buses? Porque es que no están llegando ni a tiempo, no llegan ni a la hora, tampoco lo recogen bien, entonces el niño llega a cualquier hora. Cuando se supone que se entra a las 8 en punto, quieren llegar a las 9, quieren llegar a las 9:30,
10 de
Ujú.
la mañana a recoger al niño.
O sea, ese horario está terrible.
Deme terminar los slides y puedo contestarle más esa pregunta, porque sí ha estado pasando muchos casos, especialmente en el principio de la escuela, cuando los buses están llegando tarde. En los slides que estoy demostrando, hay diferentes formas como pueden reportarlos. En este ejemplo es una de las formas de cómo tomar acción. Nada,
Pues sí,
Hasta
pero
ahora nunca han llegado a tiempo y, por ejemplo, hoy no lo recogieron. Eran las 9:30 de la mañana y el niño todavía estaba en la casa, lo llevamos. Una de las primeras actividades que nos preguntan en el colegio es no llevarlo con desayuno, porque es la primera actividad que ellos hacen en la escuela. Entonces, el desayuno, él está a las 9 de la mañana, 9:30 de la mañana, sin saber a qué hora lo van a recoger y él está con hambre, obviamente. Un niño que se levante se supone que debe estar listo y está listo en nuestra casa a las 7:10 de la mañana y son las 9:30 de la mañana y todavía no se escucha nada. Un niño con hambre, eso no es justo.
Hey,
no,
Stephanie,
sí,
can
la
we take a quick
entiendo.
moment, not to pause anyone, but our administrative assistant said that we have interpreters on the line. If that is true, could you
English.
please
I don't
explain
need an
that?
interpreter right now. I can speak English
No, no,
or
no.
Spanish.
Thank you so much. If you
Doesn't
could pause,
matter. I can say the same
excuse me,
thing in
excuse
No,
me,
English
no,
if
excuse me.
that is what
If
you
you could
need.
pause for
no,
one
no, no es
moment.
que necesitamos que lo diga en
Thank
inglés, es
you.
que no tiene que
Say it
dar un
in English.
segundo para anunciar los
Okay.
intérpretes.
We want to make sure, excuse me, we want to make sure that we keep order on the meeting. So with that being said, do
Mhm.
we have interpreters currently on the line from Department of Education? If so, could you please raise your hand so I can give you co-hosting ability?
Excuse me. Yes,
Because we
we're
are not in person, we can say yes in the test.
No, not
Um,
for you. Esto es para los intérpretes que
Okay.
nosotros tenemos para el meeting.
you.
estamos
Tiene
en
que dar un
línea, estamos
segundo.
en línea, estamos esperando entrar en la línea
Pause
telefónica
it, yes, if
español.
everyone can mute for
Ok,
one
eso es lo que
moment.
estamos tratando de saber. Si
If you are
pueden.
a
They
DOE,
said that
yes.
they're trying to get into the line, but they're not
All right.
able to.
All right, so let's give it one moment. Our AA is getting them on the line now. So let's take a
Okay.
brief moment. We're going to let them in. I'm going to make you co-host, and then we're going to give the opportunity for you to give your instructions for those who are here who do need services. One moment, I will make you co-host now. Thank you. So guys, thank you so much for being patient.
Okay.
One moment.
No problem. Thank you, Fatima, for letting us know.
You're
That's
welcome.
what we were trying to figure out. We were just trying to figure out who's not able to connect to the interpreters lines.
Wonderful. So we are about to make this correct right now.
They say the
All
video.
interpreters, and then we
Miss
may, if
Fatima mentioned that they're connected with video, but they're waiting to be admitted.
wonderful. I am making everyone co-host now. Gabrielle is working on Teams to let you guys into your rooms, and then we will go ahead and do a quick reset for equity, so everyone does know how to get into their respective places. One moment. I am Mandarin. I am letting you in. Gabrielle, if we can make sure that we confirm who's who. Okay, I think I've let everyone have co-hosting abilities. If you don't, say I. All right, I think we're all good there. Gabrielle, let me know who's in and where. And once they're in, we'll go ahead and let them give their instructions. And in the chat, Stephanie, if you can let them know, I don't know why the title doesn't say it in Spanish, but that is the Spanish guide for advocating for better busing, which you are displaying currently.
Yo creí que esto era para hablar con uno directamente, nada más. Y es una reunión para todos.
Gabrielle, are we situated in the Teams meeting?
Después de la presentación, señor Rodríguez, entonces vamos a coger ciertas preguntas para poderlos contestar y ayudarlos.
Sí, porque
Ok.
yo, la inquietud
Deme,
mía. Ok.
yo le doy un chance y yo lo llamo.
Pregunta, para
gracias.
los hablantes en español nos toca esperar a que lo dieran en inglés y después esperarnos, porque por lo menos yo puedo entender en inglés o español y puedo hacer mis preguntas en cualquier
No,
momento.
por eso estamos
Our
interpretando. Por eso
interpreters,
estamos. Christy,
if
let
you
me.
are in your rooms, could you please lower your hand so that we know that we don't need to add you into your rooms? All right, that looks like all of our
Con
interpreters.
los intérpretes es para ayudar a contestar las preguntas que ustedes tienen. Si no necesitan intérprete, no tienen que añadirse en el cuarto.
Is Mr. Martinez Delon, are you an interpreter? I see your hand is still raised, so I wanted to make sure if you are.
No, I only want to make a question.
Okay, one moment, we will get to that. So for our interpreters, just for equity, really quickly.
Excuse me one
yes,
moment,
ma'am.
please. We're two interpreters, Molly Gordy and Fatima Roman, and
Yes.
we're going to be interpreting over a telephone line. And we're waiting to be let into the telephone
You're
line.
waiting
And then
to be let into Teams still. Okay. I was advised that you may have been in there. So give me one moment and let's go back and see. Are you waiting on the Teams line currently?
yes, I'm waiting to be let into the phone line, and after that,
I
you know,
might
people
be
can.
able to assist. One moment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you everyone for your patience today. Let's see.
I can't do it so much. I quit. Ya la quitaba ya.
Gabrielle, can you unmute in this space? I do see a few people on the line for Spanish.
Can unmute.
Let
I'm
me
going
know
to.
if you're in.
Okay. ¿Me escucha bien? Sí, ¿estás ya en línea, Fátima? Sí. Ok, muy bien. Ok, estamos bien.
Bangla line, can we double check with you? Are you situated within your language line on Teams?
Yes, we're both in the language line. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mandarin, are you both situated on your language line?
Yes, we both are. Yeah.
All righty. So now we're in the equity space. So we're going to back it up a little bit again, Chair Bonija, if you don't mind. And we will give the interpreters room to give their instructions. So we will start with Spanish. You may now give your instructions. Molly, you are
Sí.
muted.
Buenas tardes. Si necesitan interpretación en español, tienen que llamar.
I think the audio went out. Can anyone else hear Fatima?
No.
We are unable to hear you, Fatima. Molly, are you able to unmute to give the instructions in
Yes,
Spanish?
do you hear me? ¿Se me
Yes, yes.
Ok, ok. Para acceder a la interpretación en español por teléfono, llame al 347-966-4114 y luego ingrese el código 882-181-783, signo numeral. Esta información también se provee en el canal chat. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Mandarin interpreters, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
Yeah.
Do we have Mandarin interpreters that are able to unmute?
Yes, this is the Mandarin interpreter. I apologize. 您好，欢迎大家来到我们今天的咱们会议。咱们呢，同时是有提供中文的同声传译服务的。如果您需要中文传译的服务，请您使用手机拨打，我们是347-966-4114，347-966-4114。输入之后，您要输入密码274-448-450，274-448-450，谢谢您。Mandarin conclude.
Thank you so much. Bengali, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
Thank you. The following message will be for Bangla participants. আপনারা যারা আজকে অনুষ্ঠানটি জুমের পাশাপাশি বাংলা শুনতে চান সেক্ষেত্রে আপনাদের ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি দিবেন 841-714-822#। আবার বলছি ডায়াল করতে হবে 347-966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি দিবেন 841-714-822#। আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে ফোন লাইনে আমাদেরকে প্রশ্নটি করতে পারেন, অন্যথায় অনুগ্রহ করে মিউট করে রাখবেন। ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাংক ইউ। বাংলা অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট ইজ কমপ্লিট।
Thank you so much. So once again, we will now hand this meeting back over to Vice President Stephanie Bonilla.
Voy a pasar el micrófono al visitante. Oh, I'm sorry.
If we could make sure that everyone else is muted outside of the presenter until we are in Q&A. Thank you so very much. Vice President Bonilla, you have the floor.
If Ms. Walcott can please add the English version as well in the chat. Thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, these are some steps of actions that we could take in order when things like relating to busing issues like no showing up of the bus, no route assigned, early pickup from school, lack of climate control, complaints against the driver, the attendant, the parent, para, rideshare access, medical codes, in case your child needs short time travel, long travel time, reimbursement, alternative drop offs. So some of the things that you could do: documents issue like delays and safety concerns. You could call OPT the same day, and it gives you certain guidelines to press. The second one is communicate with your DOE transportation and school leaders. That will be your DOE transportation. Would that be the parent coordinator, correct, Miss Angel, from the school?
There is a travel coordinator at the schools that works with the schools, and then you have a borough liaison who does coordination, a travel coordinator, and then you have the different levels at OPT. But you would definitely want to start at the school level with the busing issues, at least to inform them, and then we can always escalate and support in those spaces.
No problem. And again, and joining groups like to amplify voices, like this group of the busing committee. Also, the Citywide Council for Special Education has a busing subcommittee as well, where you could voice your concerns there. There's also PIS, is the Parents to Improve Student Transportation um nonprofit. I believe is she here, Miss Sarah. I will let her speak in a little while in order to give you some information as to how she could be able to help as well. And engage with representatives by contacting district leaders like your city council, your senators, your assemblymen, because they are not aware of many of these things if we do not speak up. These are some advocating tools, an email sample of, like how I mentioned, either to your legislator on how it could help with getting what you need for your child. This is a small template. Thank you, Miss Christy Angel. This will be shared in the chat, and it will be in English and Spanish. If you need another language, please let us know. Yes, we will put everything in the chat. And we will also email it for everyone that registered for tonight's workshop presentation. Other forms of contacts is city level contacts. Like I mentioned, you could contact your city council members. You could contact the education committee of city council with Ms. Rita Joseph. We will also be sharing out those meetings. If you're not able to attend in person, they're usually in city hall. But if you're not able to attend in person, you're able to attend on Zoom and write a testimony and send it in. And also your public advocate, Jermaine Williams' office, and also the Department of Education with OPT, and your chancellor as well. So these are all just point reference of contacts at city level that you could report all of these issues that I mentioned previously. These are state and federal level contacts. Remember, everything is in numbers. So the more that we report all of our issues to all of these different contacts, the more we will be heard. We have the senators and assembly members. We have the chairs of education committees in Albany, the New York State Department of Education, again, the U.S. Senators of New York City, and U.S. congressional representatives. As mentioned before, a lot of this takes a lot of emotional toll on all of us and stress on our families. Parents are left juggling work commitments and personal responsibilities due to unreliable transportation. Impact on students: missing school or arriving late disrupts learning and social development, especially for students with specialized needs. Systematic issues: with the lack of accountability, current oversight of transportation providers is inadequate, allowing repeat failures without consequences, communication breakdowns, and parents often lack timely updates on delays, route changes, leaving them frustrated and ununiform. This is what this committee is supposed to do, help as well, to keep us more uniform when elevating all of these concerns. Inadequate infrastructure, insufficient in resources, and outdated technology hinder insufficiency of the transportation system. Legal and policy violations, violation of IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act guarantees transportation as related service essential for access to education. Delays and missed pickups violate this right. An unmet IEP requires many individualized education programs. IEPs specify door-to-door transportation, which isn't always provided. Solutions and demands: improve funding, advocates for increased resources to upgrade buses, train staff, and implement advanced routing technologies. Another reason why we should go to the PEP, the Panel of Education, in order to submit our written requests, even if we're not able to go to Queens or go to Brooklyn or Staten Island. Submit your concerns to PEP. That way they know what we are dealing with our students, since they are the ones approving these contracts and funding to companies that are not caring or not showing um they're not showing good transportation, like we said, with the timely updates, or leaving us frustrated with not showing up at all. And now we have to change our way of living with either our work or appointments that we may have in order to accommodate our child and take them to school. So I just wanted to put that there. Stronger oversight, enforce stricter accountability measures for transportation providers to ensure quality service, transparent communication, develop real-time tracking and notification systems to keep parents informed about delays and changes. um about the stronger oversight, going back to that educational committee with city council, that's where we could push that bit more about holding them accountable for those stricter measures. On the transparent on communication, that's where we hold DOE accountable, because I would like everybody in the chat to please answer: how many of you does the busing app work? How many of you does the app doesn't work? Are you able to see your child's driver in transportation location, or are you not?
Hi, I'm a parent and I have two boys and they haven't even been routed yet.
Okay.
One moment, we definitely want to support you there. And that is pitiful. But we do want to make sure that Vice President Bonisia can make it move through her presentation for you guys, and then we're going to take everything that you have. We're going to give you the updates. If you want to move differently, Vice President, you may do so. I just want to make sure that you get the information out.
No, but we only have 2 more slides,
Wonderful, wonderful.
and then we could start answering all
Yes,
questions.
please
Okay.
raise your hands and
Okay.
put your questions in the chat as well, and then we'll facilitate the questions as soon as possible. Thank you.
And we will have everyone raise your hand as well. because we would like to take some of the questions in the translation interpretations line as well. But thank you all for joining. These are more resources that I would just highlight with our email for Citywide Council, CCD75, for busing, for CCSC busing committee, for PIS, Miss Sarah. Sorry, for the school bus bill of rights, the school age bus company, numbers, and preschool as well, because we know sometimes those also get messed up. Again, this is about taking action and signing up to parent groups like committees in order to see how we could all support each other and to elevate these concerns in order to get better busing for all of our students in all of our boroughs. That way, none of our students is left behind. And lastly, again, to please contact your council members. We will put all of this information in the chat.
And guys, I do want to say I went to the panel for educational policy meeting recently and definitely spoke on behalf of parents for not extending a contract for 5 years for vendors who don't get our children to school, no routes, late, no drivers, and things of that nature. I hear you. I know that you're losing money, you're losing your jobs and things of that nature. In that space, the senior executive director for OPT, who actually does help us very much so as we escalate things on your behalf. I met him in person and we did have a quick chat this evening. And I wanted to tell you guys a few things before we jump into the public comment. When he wanted you to know a couple of things. When people ask, why is my child traveling so far? He said 5 miles is 100 city blocks, and they are moving 100 city blocks within rush hour. I did uplift if there's a way to use some level of technology that can see when the flow of traffic is going and how to route around that. They do try to do session times to make it for in school in time. We do know that that is not currently working well. They are asking us, luckily, to come in and have a meeting in 2 weeks with the Office of Pupil Transportation on Vernon Street. So what we're going to be asking of you guys and anyone else that is replaying this on YouTube is to drop your questions in the chat. For Gabrielle, if you're able to put in the OPT questionnaires, if you could put in the back to school and the overall OPT questionnaire, that would be wonderful, because we can take your questions either here or in the survey so that we can uplift those questions and or issues in 2 weeks. Now, if you have a real issue and your student isn't in the school, we're going to advocate for that now. However, if there are questions that we can ask moving forward within these next 2 weeks, please do drop that in the chat. They said that they are working with VIA to basically start routing schools, hopefully in the future, so that this is something that works within an algorithm and it's logistically better than what we have now. So they are working toward that. They did want you to know, like, the difference between Gen Ed and then our students. Gen Ed students are always within their district, so their routes are shorter. So we as a council, we as parents, we as advocates have to figure out how to keep our kids in community, how to keep them closer to home, how to make sure that they also have equity on the bus. Even though there are 700 routes that they are working on, that still doesn't mean that there doesn't need to be a space of equity. They are putting pressure on the routers to think things through a little bit better when they're making the routes. I asked why some children are on buses at 6:30 and still get to school 2 hours late. And they are working with the routers. They have managers, and they said that they're working with the borough directors to make these things a little bit better. We did actually lose 200 routes at the beginning of the year. because a few vendors decided, 3 vendors decided that they did not want to work with the city any longer. So those are some of the updates that we have. But we want to find out, why our kids can't be more so in our districts. We know that that's with, the Office of District Planning and a lot of different things that we need to work on. But I do believe that district planning, OPT needs to work together. I did uplift, why is not the district and NICSA and OPT working together so you guys can know if you have a rideshare code. So some of you have been told your child has to wait 2 weeks for a code when it was already populated and you weren't aware. So we're trying to make sure that there's communication that's happening a little bit better. And then, as I said, we are going to be uplifting your questions and your issues that you do have within the next 2 weeks in person with the senior executive director of OPT and his full office. So we do want you to be engaged in the surveys. At this point, I will turn it back over to you, Vice President Bonilla.
I just wanted to add that I put in the chat the busing issues Gmail. That way everyone could be able to reach out. Sorry. Let me just, I think I wrote one letter wrong.
And while she's pulling up the flyer, guys, remember, and I'll put it on our social media for you guys, and we'll send it out. If you're signed up, please go to our website. You can get on our listserv. We need your voices for the panel for educational policy. People need to hear from us. We will always come and advocate on your behalf. If you can send in your written statement, do that. If not, come in person. I know it's hard. I brought my son with me and it was a struggle. And still, we need to let them know this is horrible. It's 47 years old. There needs to be a lot of different changes to the systems. There are students that are not in school. They deserve a fair, appropriate public education. And so we need to put the pressure in the places that we need to, and parent voices help us do that. We do amplify your voices, and we do still need you accordingly. We will keep fighting.
I just want to emphasize, please send us the emails with any concerns or any issues that you're having, especially if your child is not routed as of yet. That way we could be able to escalate those issues starting tomorrow. But we need the email. That way we could be able to reach out to you one-on-one for further information on how to assist you.
If everyone please would raise your hand if you need to speak. Otherwise, please remain muted so we can do this accordingly. We'll give everyone a chance
Si
to.
tienen preguntas, por favor,
Por favor, cuando sea posible, yo tengo
I'm
varias
sorry,
preguntas.
Simply, that was me. Mr. Jose, please give us one moment. Ms. Bonilla, can you unmute?
Now, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Let me know when you want to start taking questions from the chat and when you want to start with the hands.
Okay. Señor José, ¿puede alzar la mano para que pueda hacer en el... Okay, I don't think... ¿No sabe hacerlo en el Zoom?
Pues, la verdad no.
Okay. So
no,
deme un
no
segundo.
acostumbro, sí.
So deme un segundo. Después...
Ok, gracias.
Okay. Let me do the raise hand. Kami Guzman.
Ya los dame.
Gonzalez, you don't... Okay, give me a second. Kami Guzman, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I do have
Yes.
a lot of questions about the buses and everything. So can I talk now or can I wait? I have to wait still.
Yes, you could speak now.
Okay,
Miss Sarah, give me a second, Miss Sarah.
You're fine.
Okay, so my song have never been picked up before 8 o'clock. Never, literally since the school year started until now. So the first weeks, the school was saying it's like that was normal because, they were getting into it, blah, 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 getting normal. but still until the day of today have never been done that. The only day that was supposed to be picked up like before 8 o'clock, that was like a week and a half ago. We were actually waiting for the call like at 9, after 9, like normal. And they say, "Oh, we were there in front of your house, and then nobody was there, so we left." So that was the only day. And after that, we have been waiting every single day. Have never been picked up before 8 o'clock. That why is that the school supposed to start, right? Now today, I'm just talking about today. Today it was 9:30. He was never picked up. We tried to call the bus. We tried to do that, and it wasn't none answer, none at all. Now my question is, how if the school starts at 8 o'clock, how the kids are not at school by 8? Second, the first thing that the kids do when they get to the school is to go to breakfast, because literally the school taught us not to give breakfast to the kids, so they do that as soon as they get there. So the kid is hungry until 9:30. So my kid, I'm talking for my kid, Mateo Guzman, is supposed to be ready by 7:30. So I wake him up on time, and he's on time by 7:30 in the morning. It's 9:30 and he is not picked up. So he's not just missing breakfast. That is not a problem because I can feed him if that is a problem. But I can, like, he is missing the therapist. He's missing at least 2 classes because he's getting to school by 10. So that means 2 hours after he's supposed to start school. So I don't really know how this work. It's like, should I ask for a different bus?
You're right
Should
that this is
I
wrong. You're right
like
that this is
just know
absolutely
like
wrong.
you're not able to provide that for my son that he does is able to do that, right? To
Ms.
have
Guzman,
that.
Miss
could
Cruz,
you email us the D75 Council at, not to interrupt you, I apologize, but D75 Council at schools.nyc.gov. It's in the chat. If you could send us the
You're
OSIS.
just telling me where to complain. I have been complaining too much. If the school is not able, like literally, my kid lives like so close. He's supposed to be the first one. Like he lives like 10 minutes from the school, and we are doing that. And why, if he like finish school at 2 o'clock, why yesterday like not yesterday to this Monday, sorry, on Friday he was brought home at 4 o'clock. Two
If you,
hours
if you,
after
I
school
would,
when his school is like 10 minutes away.
correct. We would like to help you fix this ASAP. So could you just please email the council, give us his name, date of
I
birth.
did that already. I
You
did that
emailed
already.
to us,
one
Not
moment,
answer at all.
one moment, everyone,
to
please.
us.
Not
We're the
answer at all.
council.
Let's everybody, so everyone, so we're not talking over everyone. Could you please confirm where you emailed?
¿Cómo está el email? ¿Dónde está el email?
What was the email address? Because I
Miss
don't believe.
Guzmán, estamos
So
hablando
can
de
you give me the real one then? Because I have been complaining since this started. You had it.
okay.
Okay.
We
So
talking
can
Miss
you
Guzmán, we talking about the email for
okay.
our council.
So it is the
The one that we put in the chat.
CCD75 Boston
Yes.
Commit. It is can you write that?
DC75 Council at schools.nyc.gov.
Yes,
Thank
both
you.
of them.
Yes. So
Okay,
that is
so I
where,
have been done that like since the beginning. So what is the next stop if they haven't
Miss
pay attention to me
Miss
at all?
Kimi, not to interrupt you, what we're going to do, I am looking into the council's email now to see, I can say I haven't recognized this name before. That could be my own fault, so let me apologize. I am looking now, but if you want to bump that email back up to, is your email based on your name? Is it KEIMY in that email as well?
Yep.
I do not have that
Can
in
we
the
confirm
You
what's the
wanna you
if you bump that email back up to us, we can prioritize it. We want your child to be in school.
I can
and we
email
can
you
reach
one
out
more time. That is not a problem for me.
Yes, please.
But I
reach
would
out
like to
tomorrow.
actually have answers back.
Yes, you will. I can. I
It's
do not.
not fair that like
It's
it's
not
like
fair.
today was 9:30 and like sometimes they just call me like, oh, they are like 3 minutes away when it's 9:12, 9 something. Sometimes like 8:50 or something like that. But today I didn't have a call at all.
Miss Kimi, I am not seeing you in either of our inboxes. Can you make sure to email d75council@schools.nyc.gov? I can go ahead, if you get that email to me while we're in this chat, I can go ahead and send the email
And I also
to the
put my
people who
number
get it.
in the chat.
Yes,
You write it
Yes.
already?
I'll write it right
Okay.
now.
Okay. So
Oh,
I
Thank
will.
sorry.
you.
Can you please say one more time for me
I
to
have
write
the
it
Yes.
email.
down?
I have the email.
So
I know the.
could everyone mute, please? So D75council at
Yes.
schools.nyc.gov. Now I want you to know that's the council's email. For the busing, and you can still email both, it doesn't matter. CCD75 busing, BUSING issues, ISSUES @gmail.com. Please send that to me now if you can bump it up, or send the information with the date of birth, the route, the OSIS number. We will help you out. You do not have to feel like you were unheard. I apologize. Wherever that email went, it didn't come to the right place. Now you're here. Now you have help. You will not feel unheard. We got you. I promise you that. You also have the phone number of Vice President Bonilla, who is also the chair of the busing committee. This will not go unheard. Please do email us. If you do it now, if any of you email the council now, I will start working on these in the background now on your behalf. So thank you, Ms. Guzman. I apologize
Thank
that.
you so much. That
No
would
problem.
means that they will be picked up before 8.
Yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
uplift the issue so that they can check on what's going on and possibly change the route, because you should not be on a bus for more than 90 minutes. It's only over that when you're crossing between boroughs. You can
My
be,
son lives 10 minutes away.
which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So absolutely, we will definitely uplift this and try to help you. We apologize that you're going through this. It's unfair. It's
So
not right.
I just want him to be picked up before 8 because at 8 the school starts. That's
They are
it.
supposed to be in
If
school
the
until
route that he's taking right now it doesn't work, maybe
yes,
we just change it for another one that is closer, or I don't
yes,
know
ma'am.
how the routes work. I just want him to be picked up on like a normal time, drop off on a normal time.
And please add your phone number in the email as well.
Yes,
I
in
will.
the email, but no personal
Oh,
information in the chat, guys. We want to make sure to protect you and your children
yes.
as we are discussing the help that you need.
But
I will
the
be
next,
Thank you so much.
you're
no
more than welcome.
problem. Thank you, Miss Guzman.
Thanks. Thanks for
Um,
listening and all your help. I will proceed
Mr.
with that.
Mr. Jose Rodriguez. Mr. Dorna, I saw you, Mr. Gonzalez. I saw you once. And deme un segundo. Okay. Rodriguez. Puede preguntar su pregunta. No lo escuchamos. Está en mute.
Prácticamente no es pregunta. Mi hija solo ha recibido servicio un solo día que la trajeron a la casa. Porque el primer día que por fin la trajeron, llegó prácticamente a las 4 de la tarde. Entonces, mi niña tiene problemas de autismo. Muchas veces no puede expresar lo que siente. Entonces ella tiene que estar pasando hambre en esa guagua, una guagua muy grande, de la más grande que tienen. Y entonces viene llegando demasiado tarde. Yo entiendo que al ser una guagua tan grande, tiene que hacer muchas paradas. Eso yo lo entiendo. Pero mi niña vive cerca de la escuela. Aquí yo me tomo 13 minutos 14 y 15 minutos llevándola a la escuela, pero yo no puedo llevarla todos los días por el trabajo, si no yo la llevara todos los días y no necesitaría el servicio de la guagua. Pero
Sí.
en esta situación mi niña tiene problemas y queríamos ver si es posible que la cambien a un bus pequeño de 12 pasajeros, porque eso es demasiado tiempo para ella estar esperando a que vayan regando todos los niños para luego traerla a ella.
Si puede, señor Rodríguez, coja mi número de teléfono para poder hablar más de su caso específico,
Ajá,
porque no podemos hablar de los detalles específicos
ok,
de cada niño en la línea,
ok,
pero mañana puedo tomar más detalles y podemos averiguar cómo podemos asistir, igual como a
sí,
la señora Guzmán.
ok. Por
¿Ok?
favor, su número es
El 347
347
508
508
2130.
2130.
Mi nombre es Stephanie Bonilla,
Stephanie Bonilla.
¿ok?
Ajá.
Y mañana yo lo llamo y podemos hablar más detalles,
Sí, yo entiendo, sí.
¿ok?
Ok. Ok.
Usted me puede mandar un mensaje a ver cuál hora es más adecuada por su trabajo,
Ok, muchas gracias. Ya le enviaré el mensaje mañana
¿ok?
para saber. Ajá. Gracias
Muchas
y disculpe,
gracias,
luego hablaremos entonces, sí.
¿ok?
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Igual, ¿ok? Sorry. The next person, Joel Martinez, and then González.
Uh,
González va después del señor Martínez. ¿Ok?
yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. Um, first thing I want to say to all the father and mother in the meeting, we gotta be clear about something. We not fight for. I not fight for my children, and nobody had to fight for his children. We had to fight for all children. There you go. Children, we are a system. District 75 is a system. When we are part to this system, and this problem with the bus school is a big trouble to affect me and my whole family, because we have 3 kids. The big one is the autistic one. Thank Father, because he can walk, he can listen a voice command. Thank God for that. Because if it's not, it will be a great and complicated problem to my wife and the kid. Because now the 3 kids go to school. One go to 3K, one go to the 4th grade, and the other one is the big one go uh to 6th grade and the District 75 school. And then that means many times I gotta be late on my job, or maybe don't go do nothing this day for get my kid to the school. That's my responsibility. The school is good. I don't have no problem with the school. It with the company bus. They now they are a union people, I think. And that means now we gotta enforce them any movement to make them do his job like they had to do it, not like they want. And we have right, and they have right. But his right is bring the kid to the school, bring it back to the house on time. No excuse. Because I know when I was in the military forces, if I was 5 minutes late, they complained to me the first time. The second time they put me in the jail for 5 minutes late, and I paid for it. But those people come late, and sometimes they not come to pick up my son. And many other kids, they not pick up on time, and sometimes they not pick up. And we bring them to the school. This is abuse. This is funny in New York City and the great system, education system we have. We gotta be united. We gotta be fighting, and we gotta be honest, responsible, and respect. all of them, because we have to ask them to respect us. We have to make whatever complaint in the right way. Chat, text, email, whatever, because it's like a court. They need a proof. The people represent us need a proof when they go to OPT, make any complaint for us.
I
It's
want
not
you to know that the council is working to advocate on that aspect about having better sensitivity training for our children on the buses, because it's absolutely ridiculous that we're entrusting our children to people who have no clue with how to manage our children in medical situations, or just understanding period what it means to have a disability or a special need. So we are working on seeing what that looks like and how it can be translated into one streamlined thing that makes more sense, so parents can feel comfortable knowing who is transporting their children to school. And hopefully they are doing it with equity, dignity, and respect. That not hopefully, they should be doing it with equity, dignity, and respect. And that is something that we are fighting for. So please know that I am taking notes as you guys are talking so that we can uplift these things when we do go to speak with OPT. With that being said, I do want to take one more question, and then we do have Sarah from PIST here. She's one of our great busing advocates. She has a lot of great information, so we do want to give her a quick segue to jump in to give you guys some more information that may actually help out with some of the things that are going on, and then we will give the floor back over to the parents. So the next person that has
For the next question, it will be Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, and then we will go over to Miss Sarah. Thank you so much.
Hello. Okay. I'm speaking on behalf of my son. His name is Dahani Gonzalez. Since the beginning of the school year, it's been so crazy. They don't come and pick up my son at all. My wife got a driving, take him to school. She gets late to her job. We call OPT, we call the bus company, we do everything, and nothing has been done. I'm so frustrated because I went to school in this country. I know that school starts at 8 o'clock, not at 9 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock. So I don't know what else to do because these people don't care. You know what I mean? So we gotta, especially my wife, she gotta pay the transportation over there, and you guys are not giving that money back. So it's very frustrating. I don't know, and I think the vice president was talking about the app. We don't even have the app because we don't know. We don't know what's going on. So
no problem.
This is very frustrated. And I don't know what else to do because this is the first time this happens. You know, I don't know what's going on, and I'm seeking for help.
I am sorry to interrupt, but I agree with you. We never know what's going on because in my case, they have been changing the driver and the person that take us the kids a couple times.
Yeah.
So it's like we
crazy.
never know what is going on. Sorry, I'm just interrupting you, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's really crazy, and we don't know what to do. I mean, this
I
is crazy.
added my number in the chat. If you give us a call tomorrow and you could write us an email, but you could give me a call and we could see how we could expedite these.
Yeah,
Especially the ones that are getting late or that are not getting picked up at all. I would like to start
they
expediting
don't at all.
those.
They don't at all. And when they call my wife, and my wife asked them, "What is that you guys come so late?" Oh, because this is the time that I have. You know, it don't work like that.
Correct. I'll say this: students are supposed to be in school when school starts. Now, two things we want to make sure. Please do. You need a place to vent. You need a place to vent. Please do call Vice President Bonilla. She will listen to you. I will listen to you. We need you to email us formally so that we can speak on your behalf. If you email us, we can uplift it and escalate this ASAP. We need it in writing.
What is the email?
The email is d75council@schools.nyc.gov. And then you can always CC CCD75 busing, BUSING, issues, ISSUES, @gmail.com. Vice President Bonilla is monitoring one inbox. I monitor the other one. We can always push this up to the senior executive director and to higher officials in OPT who will make sure the right people get this in their hands and it gets resolved. We care greatly about students being in school, and as we do uplift these issues to OPT, they are helping us. Now, can we make that broader for parents? It absolutely should be broader. However, in this space, we want to say, email us, call us. We will expedite this for you. We will escalate it so that this is not a continued issue, because no one deserves this. FAPE is there. You need to be able to be in school before 8 o'clock. We understand these issues are an extreme burden. And so we want to make sure that we can expedite this ASAP. So please make sure both emails, guys, d75council@schools.nyc.gov.
I added it in the chat as well.
And CCD75 busing issues @gmail. All right.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm sorry. I know that you say not taking any more. We're gonna get a break. My name is Marsha.
No, we're taking more questions.
Taking more questions.
We're letting Miss Sarah speak to you guys first as to more resources on what we could do to your questions that you've been asking. So after Miss Sarah, I will let everyone speak again.
Also, please look at the bottom of your screens if you're on a computer, and there is an icon that says chat. It may have like a number in red so that you can see people talking. You want to click there on your phones or on your computer so that you can see the chat if you're unable to see the emails that are being typed in. Back to you, Ms. Bonilla.
No problem. I'm gonna give the floor to Miss Sarah. That way, then we could continue with everyone that has their hand up.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm so heartbroken over the widespread problems that we keep hearing.
Miss Sarah, if you could just give us more introduction as to you and Chris.
Of course, my fault. Yes, I'm here as a co-founder of Parents to Improve School Transportation. We have been trying to organize with each other since 2010. And at this point, policies that the school system went with under mayoral control have made the problem much more worse and compounded, with fewer and fewer people staying in this workforce, especially the experienced ones. So as we're fighting for better conditions for the passengers on the bus, we are paying attention to what could be done to recruit, what could be done to expose high school and college students to potentially careers in student transportation, and what could be done to hold on to people, such as there is a state bill pending in Albany. I'm putting a link to a petition about that in the chat right now. And I know that this council last year resolved to support that legislation because not only does it give more incentive for people to stay working in this very crucial, important workforce that is going to make or break education, as we're hearing now. But it also is a barrier. If they do not have this law, then the only thing that the city can do without provoking a strike and thousands of layoffs and who knows what other kind of chaos for our children, they will have to continue to extend these contracts with these same, 52 companies or whatever.
Sorry, did you say that you were talking about high schools? Any of these kids are in high schools?
I was talking about we have high schools that help students who are
Yeah, but any
thinking
of those
about
kids, so
becoming
we
teachers.
need to know about this.
Mhm.
Any of these kids are in high school.
Ms. Guzman, I'm sorry, but you cannot keep interrupting. And I don't know if you're aware, but D75 reaches all the way to high school. So we cover all the way to high school. We're K to 12.
And I will
We
add to
Okay.
cover
that.
over 60 schools in the
Mhm.
whole New York City.
I'm so
That is
sorry.
why
I
this is
just
such a
thought
big issue for
we
all
were
of our
talking
students.
about our school, and I thought that our school is known to up to 12. I don't know. It was a couple of schools at this in the same meeting. I thought was just our school, like primary school and kindergartens.
So as
Oh,
somebody
so
just
Sorry, that's
mentioned
what
in
I
the
thought.
chat,
I didn't knew that our school was up to 12.
and we're going to listen and learn. We have students
So
at
Yes,
one,
I
Julian
didn't
one
knew
one
that.
K
moment, one
Sorry.
moment for me,
72.
Sarah. So let's
Okay.
let's bring this all back together, guys, because we want to give equity to everyone. Every parent is here. We want to give everyone at least 2 minutes to have space to speak. So everyone, if you've already spoken, please do reserve your comments for other parents to be able to ask their questions. With that being said, Sarah, once you do finish, Vice President Bonilla, can we go into the translation lines for equity to make sure we are making sure that if they have questions, they're
And
being
you're
asked?
able to add your questions in the chat as well, and
And
we
then
can
you add
monitor.
yes, yes. So please raise your hands. We will answer the questions of the hands that are raised in order. We will go through the chat and we will make sure to have order so that every parent does have a space to speak. Back to you, Vice President.
Miss Sarah, can you
Oh,
clarify
Sarah,
that
you
for the
got
rest
that.
of the parents about our about D75 and that our
Sure.
schools are K to 12?
Sure. Yes.
Just because since we're here with the question, I'd rather it be clear that way
Right.
we know if you're in elementary, what you gonna expect for middle school and what you gonna expect for high school.
Yeah, well, we have members of PIST who have an 18-year-old student at Brooklyn Transition Centers, and she has said that they actually train some students to start thinking about becoming a classroom paraprofessional. And so there are students who could probably answer the phones at OPT with more sensitivity than what we get now. There are people who could ride on the bus and be a bus attendant with, more love for the children. So we do want this to be a thriving workforce that's growing instead of shrinking. What we're struggling with is that um, the experienced people have to be held on to. If your child is in a school where all the teachers are new, except for maybe one who's a veteran who knows some, good skills and tricks, that's a different situation than if you have at least half of the people who have 10 years or more. So we want that, and that's why we're lobbying for the state school bus EPP bill, A8440 and S1018. So that's one advocacy thing. A week ago, there was a rally at City Hall, and some of you were there. And so those kind of things are happening. We are going out and telling the story, not just to each other, but to the media and the elected and the whole city. We also, as was mentioned by Ms. Stephanie and Ms. Christie, have somewhat of a school board. We have the Panel for Education Policy, or PEP, that meets every month. And as these bus contracts are being extended, right now they can do 2 months at a time. So they extended it this week, and it will be back on that school board agenda November 19th in Brooklyn. So please stay in touch, and I'm sure there'll be another meeting of this committee. There will be at least two meetings of Parents to Improve School Transportation prior to that. And we want to bring parents out. Again, you're not just talking to each other, you're making everybody aware. District 75 is the most would say reliant on school busing and all year round. So these voices are, you know, born to be the strongest voices about student transportation and making it better. Not everything can be fixed with the contract between the city and the companies. Um, Honestly, if the city owned all of the buses, there would be a lot less chaos and they could control better, I think, where do the air conditioned buses go? And, where do the buses with car seat capabilities go to the little kids, etc. The training could be more uniform, etc. The city comptroller is releasing some kind of audit next month. They have actually tried to make OPT and the company show how the money is being spent, but it's still pretty mysterious because you guys $1 billion point whatever, and it's still not serving the kids. This is outrageous in every possible way. So, I would save those dates. I will give, and I have been giving in the chat some other links to our organizing that we always do collaboratively with this council and the President's Council and the CCSE. Um, but those issues about building in things like training and things like after school service for yellow buses for students of D75 to enjoy sports or enrichment or tutoring or socializing, those kind of things, we need to get the state laws fixed up and push that through and have them, really take it seriously and hire like they care about our kids.
And
So,
not to interrupt, but why
mhm,
it's so important November to go out there and vote.
ah, right. And yeah, register people. And there's also people trying to register those older District 75 students to vote because there are accommodations at the polling place. So if your child is even like 17 now and they might be 18 in time, you can start registering them. And of course, those 19, 20, 21, 22, and any of your older, correct? Yeah. I want to make sure I didn't forget. Okay, here's something that you can do as District 75 that some of our other struggling parents cannot do. At that last Wow, that's a great question, Mary Lou. I'm sorry, distracted. At that meeting, somebody from the teachers union spoke, and his job at his union office is to receive complaints about special education compliance. Those can be done by a teacher or some other UFT member or by a parent. So because you're in public school and all of those schools are represented by the United Federation of Teachers, you can fill that out. It's in the chat. I'll try to put it again. Um, and they will advocate for you. The parents who are saying or who have a pattern that there has not been a bus all year. He said he knew 30 families who had no bus as of the day 14 of the school year, And that's just 1 or 2 boroughs that he works with. So I see more people in this chat with that situation, and also people who it's not coming until 9 o'clock, 8:30. That's just almost just as bad. You have another resource to help you. And I notice people are talking about the the attitude, the varying attitude, and it's so much better when you have a team on the bus who has training and respect and some kind of sense of unity with you as a family, that they are also parents and we're also workers, and we want, it to be a good situation for all. But that's why it's important when you do your complaints through this council or ourselves, is that mention what the company is, because not all of these companies even have a strong fighting union. Some of them, it's like people come in, people come out, like it was Burger King. I'm sorry. And so they're being treated not great by the boss, and that's trickling out, and it's no excuse. But where they do have that structure, it is a kind of a checks and balance situation where folks, and you can invite them to a meeting, some of the union leaders, and they can explain certain things that are going on, better than I can. But I'm gonna quit there, because people I know are like, it's burning your heart up, and you need to talk about what's wrong on the bus, and you need to try to get help. We hate that this approach of one route at a time, one bus at a time, one child at a time. It really works best when you get other people from your school and your route to be in this kind of email chain. The 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 number, the phone call and getting the incident number, that's only step 1. It definitely won't solve anything. That's why we have to go through these hoops and, get a letter to somebody who can review the route. If your school has 2 and 3 routes, maybe they can mix and match and make it make more sense. You know, I
Sarah,
would,
just in the interest of time, I wanted to ask if there's any questions in the
okay.
interpretation line for you.
Oh, good. Let me move.
Is there any questions at this time in the interpretation lines?
No questions in the Spanish line.
No questions on the Mandarin line.
No question in Bangla line.
No problem. Is it okay? 1 more minute before we start. That way you could answer to see if there's any other questions on the English. We have a couple of raised hands.
Okay, well, I'm sure some people just
I think
want to tell their
Steve
story and
Koppelman
don't
is
have
next.
it for me. So I'll be quiet.
All right, that's me.
Yes.
Hi. Hello. My son is, has been in District 75 since well, pre-K actually. And he's been bused since the 6th grade when he started middle school. Before that, well, actually, no, before that, no, he was sometimes bused, depends on the year and how close we were to the school. But this year he effectively doesn't have a bus. The first few days they had no bus at all. There was just no bus. Then they would send a bus around after it had finished its other route at that, at the high school times. And now we're in a situation where 3 days a week he can come home kind of sort of on time because coming home, we're the first stop. Every single day of the week going into school and the other 2 days coming home when the high schools let out earlier, no, because going into school, the earliest we have waited around, and we have waited a half hour. We have waited, no, close to an hour past when the bus is supposed to be dropping kids off at the school, and they have never arrived. Never, ever, ever. So unless we're willing to let him arrive at least an hour into the school day, he effectively doesn't have a ride into school. And 2 days a week coming home, finally, at least now it's only 2 days a week. We definitely have to pick him up unless we want him to sit at the school for an hour and a half after everyone else has gone home.
And we both work.
And we both work. And, we're fortunate enough to live not too far from the school where it's a 15-minute subway ride, and a short walk at each end. We're much luckier than probably most of the other students on the route who are further out in Queens. But even as it is, we're spending, what is it, $80 a week on subway fare, dropping him off, and bringing him home, and sometimes doing, return trips or continuing on to work. It's absolute craziness. The teachers, the unit coordinator, everyone has, helped us in trying, in filing complaints with OPT. I believe now every parent or nearly every parent on that bus, with a student on that bus, has filed a ticket with OPT about this. But, nothing can be done or is done. And I also want to add that this year, given the situation with ICE, I can't in good conscience really complain that this driver sign into the app. Just because of the way that works, requiring the drivers to use their personal devices to be tracked, half the day, which is, a bit much to ask for people who aren't necessarily, US born citizens. So all of this is just terrible and a mess and awful. In our case, the bus attendant has stopped really responding to most text messages, and I can't really blame her, because they're never less than, an hour and a half behind schedule. It's just ridiculous.
Are you able to get our information from the chat, Mr. Coltman?
I have your information. You'll be getting an email from me. It'll go in the pile with all the other, with all the past emails and with our OPT tips.
One moment.
Wait. This is why we're different here in the committee,
but
Mr. Coltman.
I also know that you guys are powerless to change the fact that these are multi-year contracts awarded to a bunch of companies, many of whom are owned by the same people. So when two companies get dropped, often 4 more companies owned by the same family get
definitely true.
So
definitely.
I can say, Mr. Koppelman, I see that you have emails to us from 2016, but kick up the ones that are going on now. I don't want you to feel like you're barking up a tree that nobody's answering. We don't move like that in our council. We move on your behalf. So things will move. So if you would please give us the opportunity to advocate on your behalf, we would love the opportunity to help you see that your people and parents that are with you.
And I'm glad that you're mentioning about change,
and the
Mr. Coltman.
D75 problem will not ever be solved when there's a shortage of drivers and attendants either aren't treated well enough or aren't paid well enough to make the job worthwhile for enough people to apply for.
That's very true.
And as long as that's the case, they're always going to drop or double up small bus routes before big bus routes because big buses carry 4 times as many students as small buses.
Yeah.
And
And then they have angry people with their students.
I ask this? I put the link for PEP, guys, for the panel for educational policy that Sarah was speaking about for the November meeting. I put it in the chat. Mr. Koppelman, I would love if you could show up in person and testify. They need to hear this in real time. I can go there and keep speaking on your behalf. You guys can go and write this and send it in.
Happy to, and I hope to get my problem and everyone on this call's problems solved or at least improved this year.
Yes,
But I
sir.
really don't think anything's going to change without changing this system and possibly the city just taking
But that's why
over,
we keep mentioning
taking
PEP
over
for you
running
guys,
buses.
for all that don't know.
Stop
That's why we keep
contracting out.
mentioning the panel of education, because that is where we could take these concerns to ask for change, as Mr. Coltman said, with the contracts on how to get better contracts for these buses. Just don't give us any buses just because they're the cheapest or they're the most they also the most inadequate, because I could go talk to the summer buses. We get a lot of summer buses that don't even have AC. So we have a kid riding for an hour and a half with no AC in the bus as well. That is part of where we fight in those contracts. I also wanted to highlight that PEP is what it used to be, a school board. It gets members appointed by the mayor, but it's also members appointed by the borough presidents. So one of the and then there's members are voted in by CEC, which is the Community Education Council. Those happen to be parent leaders that are going through the things that we are going through, that know our struggles, that they could speak on that table to the things that that we're going through with our families. Like right now, it's gonna be October, and a lot of the things I've heard is some people don't got busing, or their child's busing is of going late. And that also goes to our IEP mandate. They cannot um act like they don't have a IEP mandate for our kids, that they don't need to figure it out and establish certain things because we have a mandate that is against the law, that if they don't follow these certain things for us, um for our children. Like another thing that was stated, not only are they missing busing, or not arriving on time, they're also missing their related services, they're missing their educational time. So those are all things that, yeah, we could be able to rise up. Also at the PEP, the chancellor is there. So that is the main person we want to hear all of these issues of that we're going through, in order for her to know what our students need. Because like Miss Angel said, our students are here from K to 12 to they're 21 years old. So if we don't get it, if some of us been going through this since pre-K, some of us is coming out of the system and still going through it.
We have Vice President Bonilla. We do have 7 more hands. I think
No
8
problem.
hands raised.
Yes.
Miss
The next one was Miss Marsha.
I see Fatima Al Gamoose.
Yes, Marsha is
Miss
here.
Yes.
Miss Marsh,
Okay.
and then Miss Fatima.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Um, it's Marsha, you said?
Marsha.
Hello?
You could unmute.
Are you hearing? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I could hear me. So, my child been going to these certified schools since last year, February. He's been using the bus service. Prior to that, he was in intensive credit school and he was on the bus service. Several things happened where I reported to OPT, they do an investigation, and then nothing come out of it. The latest thing that happened now, which I'm not going to send my child to school tomorrow, is the bus matron on the first and second day of school. The first day, no one to pick him up. The bus matron on the second week of school started to ask me, why does my child make so much noise? And I and she said everybody's autistic on the bus. And they don't make any noise. I said, I don't know what to do about that. You normally don't make noise on the bus. From there, it escalated to when she come in the morning, he will go up on the bus. She would say, go up on the bus, go up on the bus. And I would ask her, he's not going to respond like that to you if you speak to him like that. After that, she didn't talk to me at all. She don't talk to my child at all, nothing. She filed a report that he was making noise on the bus. Today, she told an ex-parent that my child put her daughter here by pointing out my child. So now I'm not sending on the bus.
Quick question. What has the principal and your busing liaison at the school done and or said?
I said everything to them, and his teacher called me today to let me know that the next parent told her that she told that parent, my child, that point to him and say, he pulled her here. That's dangerous to my child. And that same matron, I used to speak to her, I just met her. And she points out my child to that parent tell the teacher what happened, right? So you putting my child in danger. What that child parent was not emotionally like ready to deal with that. I'd be like, which child attacked my child? How is that safe for my child? And how is she not being verbal? She's not talking to my child. Silent treatment to me, because I tried to help her to know my child and tell her how we operate. She said they're all the same. So they're not trained. They're on the bus with our child, no cameras on that bus. So I have to trust her. And the most you could do is put a towel in your child's bag and stuff like that. And she moved him this morning from the front seat to the back seat, lock him in his backpack, in the seatbelt. He's on the bus for an hour and a half to 2 hours from Rushdale to Fresh Meadow to school. The bus company don't answer their phone, which is Richie Bus Company, which owns several other bus companies. Don't even bother trying to switch your child bus, right? And they don't answer the phone. I couldn't find my child one day. I called. They said, "Oh, the driver have a emergency." I said, "On the bus?" She said, "No, not on the bus. She have an emergency before she pick up the child. She would be late." I said, "What happened?" "Oh, that's her personal business. I can't tell you." I said, "Calm down, ma'am." She hanged up the phone. The school called, no answer.
Let me ask you, Ms. Fatima, did you file violations on this matron?
Oh, this is Mitchell. I filed a violation. I filed last week on the 22nd, and they said behavioral something. I filed today when the teacher called me after 4 p.m. and they said they're going to look at it. And I requested a change of bus service for my child, which is not going to get a bus service right now because look at the situation for other parents. Look, their child is not even on a bus.
This is unacceptable. This is extraordinarily unacceptable.
Asking me why my child making noise with the autistic?
No, we would. If you could send us the violation numbers, we can make sure to escalate this for you. If you want us to speak to the school on your behalf, we can do that as well.
Yes.
But this is utterly ridiculous, and there is no way that you should let this matron off. You should violate her, whether they move her from the busing route or change busing routes. Whether she
I'm not putting my child in the bus. She don't talk to him. She come in the morning or lift her purse together. I said good morning same way because of course you don't want to get into no argument with the bus. You're trying to make sure your child is safe. That's why some parents don't speak up, and that's why some parents tired. Now I have to bring it to school. $50 I have to pay Uber. I have to get this work at 9 o'clock to the city, and I have to Uber into school now because of her.
No,
right?
ma'am.
Because if I drive my car,
Fatima, no, you should not be going to your own pocket and burning things down because you don't have assistance to get this changed.
This is Miss Marsha.
Miss Marsha, please forgive me. No, please email us. Please let us help you. This is absolutely, utterly ridiculous. You should not feel like your child is unsafe or feel these kind of ways around a bus matron. You should have her penalized. They get penalized. They get fined. Don't let people treat our children inappropriately and get away with it.
And I try to file the first report. She make a report on my child to the school that, like a report on him saying that he's doing something. Now she started to pick on him.
Miss Marsha, our schools are not looking to put our babies off the bus. So know that. Even if they do complain, District 75 does not look like, ooh, let's get the babies off the bus. we
but
know
I
who our
don't trust her. I don't trust her. So that feeling when I keep on saying praying and going with God, now I don't trust her because I can see what's happening in the bus and she's not speaking to him. He's six. He's six. Six. What kind of people are they hiring to be with our children? What kind? We know it's sharp. We know everything's sharp. But how is it safe for us to go to work and leave our child worrying about him now when I didn't have to worry about him before because this bus company is unprofessional. The people are rude. He had them for summer and I couldn't get in contact. Those bus driver and matron were good. Those two, and then they changed this bus company from Umbrella Bus Service to Little Richie, which Loriander, Little Lisa. So you're like in a pot.
Yeah, no, this is Miss Marcia. Please,
Please
if you could
email us or call us
Yeah.
tomorrow. That way we could
Okay.
follow up.
honestly email, you can email us right now. Anybody,
Yeah.
that you
Okay.
guys can email us
Everybody
right
could
now
just
in real
email us
time.
now. We could,
Real
but
time.
we'll call everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're trying to show up to all these things, but now we out of a job. We have to show up to meeting. We're losing pay.
But
They're
we're
not
trying to
finding a
make
way
it
to
at
help us.
6 o'clock and stuff. That way you guys could come, because I know my working
Yeah,
parents.
And
and
we
I'm
don't
always
we
I'm gonna
don't
be
want
home with my child now because of her.
yeah.
No, I want to
We
quit
don't,
my job just because of this system.
no ma'am,
Yeah.
we don't want you
No,
to feel like you don't have dignity, like people are rude, like they're disrespectful, that they are
but
insensitive.
we
Don't want the
understand.
money out your pocket,
And
and we
because they
don't.
know the bus system is short, that's why they behave like that. They be like, oh, they can't replace us because they're short anyways.
No
No,
problem. But if you could please
don't
send
worry
us
about
the
that.
email
Yes.
and we will
Yes, I will.
follow up. Just in the interest
Guys,
of time.
don't worry about how people feel. We don't care about how people feel. We care
Yeah,
about the children. File the
yeah,
complaints. Let us help you.
Yes.
yeah. I did
Just
file the
in the
complaint. So
interest of
school.
time, that way we
Yes,
could go
thank
to
you.
the next speaker. No problem.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Miss
Yeah,
Marsha, for
you're
sharing your
welcome.
story.
No, baby.
Miss Fatima.
Yes, good evening. How are you guys all?
Good.
Um, I have two boys. Like they've been on buses since preschool, and they're in high school now. And I've seen my fair share of situations. So, but my situation right now is that they are not routed yet, and I've been taking them to school and back to school because I have two younger kids that are in elementary school that I have to drop off first. So by the time that I get to their school, it's already 9 o'clock. Then I got to go pick them up at like 12 because it's like a 30-minute ride. And I have to be home before my other two get off from elementary. So they're only in school for like from 9 to 12. And at the beginning I was paying for the Ubers because I don't have a car, so I was Ubering it back and forth, so that for like a good 2 weeks. So I kept complaining, then they gave me rideshare, but even though it pays for the trip, it's still very inconvenient and I can't keep doing it, so I only take them like 3 days a week. I've made
No.
complaints. I call OPT all the time. I have a bunch of like complaints down, but like nothing is being done about it.
Can you forward us your complaints?
I just got the email and I came into the meeting, so I'm
No
gonna be
problem. If you
emailing
could
you.
please forward, yeah, if you could please forward us all the complaints that you've made up to date. That way then
Okay.
tomorrow we could follow up with you as to next step on your case.
Okay, and then like with all due respect, like what do you guys do? Like, will I see something happen in the next week or
What
two?
you
Or
Fatima, I'm going to
With
tell you what
Christy.
we do. So when you email us, we keep you on copy. That's one. You will always see what's happening in real time. For myself, I reach out to the senior executive director and his team, and then they push it back down to the appropriate people who respond in real time. Will I say this is fair? No, it's not. We do get feedback quicker than you guys do. That's why we say, let us advocate for you. You will see in real time. You will be able to respond to them as well as we do, but we will uplift this to you. On our CCD75 website, I do have some emails of people you guys can reach out to as well. We want to empower you to be able
Right.
to advocate. But what we do is we bump it to the top of OPT and they move on it immediately because it has been expedited. So that's a little bit of a difference. We get to get behind the red rope to help you guys on your behalf.
Okay, because
So I hope that answers a little bit.
yeah, but like I've spoken to the person in the school that deals with the busing.
Well,
Yeah,
these
no.
are the people that are over OPT. This is above school level, district level. This is at the top of OPT that we're moving to help you with.
Okay, so
Like we got to speak to like the directors or how she said the senior executive, like especially when there's no route. In
yeah,
order
they
that
have
way
no
they
route. They
could
told
put
me
a
that
route
it was gonna
or
take
see
7 to
what
10.
route your child will fit in.
Yeah, because they told me it was gonna take 7 to 10 business days. That was in the beginning of school.
So that's how we could follow up as to what has been done since you already did complaints. We could follow up as to what has been done because it has not been resolved yet.
Okay.
That's how we're able to also expedite it up with those channels that Ms. Angel mentioned.
Just please make sure to email us as soon as possible, and we will get on that with you on copy so you know that we are moving on your behalf. The biggest part is our students need to be in school, and that's what we're fighting for. And you guys
Right.
don't need to be burdened with our children being in school. That is a part of what, federal government and better supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll work for faith.
And I would just like to highlight on Wednesday, October 1st, it is our citywide council D75 meeting. In that meeting, we will be there with superintendent office for District 75. We are able to also mention things in the chat in that meeting. That way they are aware as to what's going on in sense of attendance. That way they know, like one of the parents was saying, they could take them certain times, but you're not able to afford to take them every day in a cab if you don't have ride share in place. So those are another place where you're able to go as well. That will be Wednesday at 6:30. The next person is Miss Giovanna.
Hi. Good evening, everybody. My son has been in with the IEP since he was in pre-K. He's always been bused. I've never had a problem like this before. I mean, they pick him up 6:45, and he just gets dropped off at school at 9. So he's been on the bus, and also plus he's in high school, so he gets bused in a big bus. That's the other thing, is on a big bus as well. And when he gets picked up, he's like the fourth person on the bus. So and he also has some issues. So he's got to take medication in the morning, and then at the evening he's got to take another one. But then I don't want him to get too aggravated because that's not good for him either. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I did
Are
talk
you
to the school.
do you have short time travel in your IEP?
No, I think it's never been
Do you have a
changed.
paraprofessional in the IEP?
No.
Then I'm glad, like following what Vice President Bonilla is saying, we need to get you some medical paperwork so that you can get limited time travel and that you can get a paraprofessional to ride with your student on the bus. We can look at, if you email us, we can speak with you with your IEP, look at some things and try to help you get that ball moving so that you can have the appropriate accommodations on the bus and have a mini wagon, so that he's not on the bigger bus. Those things can be added into the IEP.
Yeah, because he also does summer school, and since they put him on the big bus, there's no air conditioning. And last time I called, they told me I need to have my doctor write them a note.
Right.
I mean, because he has also asthma, so that's the other thing.
So, like Miss Angel said, if you could email us, we're able to help you with that paperwork.
Okay.
And listen, we hear you, and we know it is stressful as all get out. We know it is a lot. It's a lot, and you don't have to feel like you're alone. I'm giving you a virtual hug because I feel your energy through the phone. Please know we're going to help you out. This will not be your forever. We are trying to fight as a council to change policies and better, but as of right now, you are our community member. We are going to work on each and every one of your behalfs. You're not alone in this fight. It will not stay this way, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're more than welcome.
No problem. The next one is Miss Tamika Mills.
Hi, good evening. Actually, it's her husband, Kelvin. We have a shared account,
Okay,
so
no
that's why it says
problem.
that.
Hello, Mr. Calvin.
Good evening. Thank you for all the information. Really appreciate it. It's been pretty harrowing to listen to everyone's situation. Our son David was bused last year when he was in 3K, and we've had issues with the drivers showing up really late, causing issues with us getting to work like everyone else has experienced. This year, he's in kindergarten. And the bus is telling us to pick him up at 6:25 a.m. for an 8:20 a.m. drop off. Our son is 4, and I can't imagine being on the bus that's not even going more than 2 miles for several hours. And then I arrived to the school. My wife and I have been dropping him off for the last few weeks since school started, and I've noticed I've been getting there, and the buses have been sitting outside the school for an unknown amount of time. And I'm just curious, like, what's going on these buses? What's happening with the children in these buses? I'm standing there with my son waiting for the doors to open, and I feel like we can't trust to put him on these buses because we don't know what's going to happen. Is he just sitting there forever, or what are these other children doing? You know, they won't open the doors at his school until 8:20 on the dot. And I met another father today dropping off his son for the first time, asking me, "Hey, where's the door? When is it open?" He was told to get there for 7:55. That's wrong. It's 8:20. I had the same experience on the first day of school. They will never open the door for our children when they get there on the bus early. And I don't understand. When I was in school, we at least went to the yard. We went inside if it was cold. I don't know what's going to happen when the weather changes. Our son also has ABA services that we pay for out of pocket after school, and it's been really successful for him. But we can't get him there in time based on the bus having a 2-hour route. And I just discovered today, calling the bus company, that there are 3 or 4 other schools on his route. So I am under the impression that, okay, your bus is coming from your school to where you need to go, not just dropping off at other schools. I had no idea that a bus can do that. And I'm not sure if that's normal or if that's a new thing where one bus can go to
Does he
several
have
different schools.
a small bus or a large?
No, he's on a large bus. But
Yeah,
we're
so
we worked with our
that's the issue with the larger bus. They are
yeah.
doing that. That's something that we're finding out, that they
Yeah,
are
I just
putting more than one route on the larger bus.
yeah, I wasn't
That
aware of
is
that
what.
until today because he was on a small bus last year when he was going to school, and this year we're like, well, the large bus might take
What
some time, but
he's
we didn't realize
for.
that. Yeah, he's
But
4.
I don't understand why he's on a big bus.
So we did talk to his doctor. We were told to go to our doctor, get some paperwork filled out for this because he can't really communicate his needs. We don't
Yes.
know what will happen on this bus. The bus doesn't seem to have any kind of climate control. I'm looking at the bus. I'm like, I know buses from my experience of being on buses. I'm like, that's not gonna work when the weather has been like crazy lately. And we don't really see like how this will be working. So now we're just making that sacrifice and putting our jobs at risk just to get him back and forth to school and to his after school programs. And, we just don't, my wife has called the bus company. They've hung up on her. They've been really rude to her. And I just don't know what's going to happen, like going
Did she
forward with
file
this process.
violations for these hangups and being rude?
I need
Not yet, because it's only been a week or two. We haven't
No,
done
guys,
that yet.
hear me clearly when I say it. There is no pass. There is no pass. If you're rude, if you're hanging up, if you're disrespectful, these people are getting contracts. If you're not violating them on every single turn that they do, it's looking like they're doing a good job. There is no pass. There should be no, oh, it's the beginning of the school year. I'm not going to give you a pass for being rude and hanging up on me.
No,
No,
no, no,
you
that's
have to
absolutely
tell
not,
me that show
valid
does
for them to
that
do
need
that.
to be
That's
happening.
not
Yeah.
right at all. Last year, we did file complaints against the other bus company when they were well, we had a complaint. Our grandmother, who's helping us, got a pneumonia for waiting for the bus for so long outside in the cold. And when we made the complaint, the matron stopped talking to my wife. And we filed a complaint, got a different driver, and everything like that. But for someone to get so sick just because you can't get there on time, it's kind of crazy, you know. Um, so we're just trying to figure out like what's the process here. Because listening to everyone else's story here, and I'm like I haven't even engaged this yet for this semester because it seems like it's been broken for a while. Like we don't know if this is even, I'm happy to personally be part of the process and complain and kind of give everyone my point of view on this. But a 2-hour turnaround time just to get from a kid from one place to another who's 4 years old is actually unacceptable. I can't even do that.
Extraordinarily unacceptable. And I want to tell you guys, like, there's levels to how they would like us to move, where you let your administration know, your principals know, they then let the busing liaison know. And there's a different level that happens at the school level. There's a different space that happens at the district level. And then there's some things at the district level where they can help us escalate to OPT. And then we just shoot up to OPT. We do want to always ask, is your principal engaged? Is your busing liaison engaged? Because there's some things that they can nip in the bud at the school level. If they're waiting outside or something's going wonky, or you see what's happening, they can nip those things in the bud at the school level if you give them the opportunity. If you ask them and they've done nothing, or you don't know what's happening and you would like assistance to escalate, we can always jump in and escalate, period. However, you guys do need help to make sure your students are in school and that you're being heard with what's happening.
Okay. Well, okay, great. We'll probably follow up in the email. My wife and I are on the call. She's on the other phone. We'll probably just reach back out with any other questions we have. But that's about all I had to really say. I think that there should be a limit to how long a child can be on the bus. It shouldn't be a
There are
2-hour
actually
ride.
limits. I'm going to screenshot them and put them into the chat. Give me 1 second.
And that also goes to that paperwork that they gave you. So those limits have to be put in with the doctor.
Yes.
That's what we're saying, for the doctor, in order to fill out those paperworks, and then they able to add it into the IEP.
Regarding the IEP, we did request that it get reopened because of the placement he has. But we were told that a psychologist would need to do an evaluation. But the psychologist at his school has been out since last semester, and we can't even get an ETA for when this person will return. For that, is that really part of the process that they have to have an evaluation by a DOE psychologist to have an adjustment?
For turning 5.
What you said, Sarah? Sorry.
I'm sorry. Ignore me. I'm writing something in the chat. I'm just getting upset with everything.
You do not need just a DOE evaluation. You could actually have an outside evaluation for your child and take it and ask them for a reconvene meeting or to open up the IEP. And you could bring in those outside evaluations. It could be either from other agencies like YAI, AHRC, the Kennedy Center. Those are places that do psychological and psychosocial evaluations, and they could give you more of considerations for the school to take considerations of the things that they assess. So if you're able to email the D75 council email, Ms. Angel and I could assist you with that as well, and Ms. Mills.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
I have a quick question, really quick. I'm just interrupting. I send the email and ticket number that I have to both of the email that you guys share in the chat.
Yes, please.
So
Okay, thank you so much.
D75council at schools.nyc.gov and CCD75 busing issues at gmail.com.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For the last two questions is going to be Ms. Jarvis and then Ms. Burnell. Shaltia Jarvis?
Yes, hello. Thank you.
No problem. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to speak on behalf of my son. He is a teenager. He is 15 years old, and the bus that he rides has other teenagers on the bus. I just found out 2 weeks ago that his bus is overcrowded. I did not know that this is what was going on. The matron informed me, and I honestly feel like she only even informed me just in case there was a safety issue because of how overcrowded it is. And again, I stated they're all teenagers, so they are of a bigger stature. The bus itself, because I was allowed to step onto the bus and see what was going on, they wanted me to see the seating. One side had a set seat of one-seaters. The opposite side had a set seat of two-seaters. And at least one seat had 3 kids in one, squeezed in, trying to make it work. The matron literally had to ask a child to get up and move somewhere else to make room for my son for that particular day. I immediately called OPT. I called his school, and OPT just took down my information. I got the incident numbers, and I called the bus company. I'm like, what's going on? The lady literally told me that she told the bus driver how to seat the kids in the bus. If there's 2 skinny kids, have 2 skinny kids sit together, and so forth and so forth. And I'm like, they're not Jenga pieces. What are you talking about? And she told me all she can do is have excuse me, I'm sorry. All she can do is have me call OPT and have his bus rerouted, but that is the bus for his school and there is no other option. I also found out that there are 3 schools on his bus route. My son is in a mini wagon. And last week, being that they didn't have space for him, she told me at the bus company the only other option was for them to take the kids that are on the bus before him to school and come back for my son. My son is the last pickup. They did that one day last week because, of course, like everyone else, we want our kids to be able to go to school. They came for my son at 8 o'clock. School starts at 8. My son didn't get to school until 9:30 that day. And that's just ridiculous. Nothing has been done to change this. And of course, if you try to get the bus rerouted, that's a waiting period as well. And then in the meantime, he doesn't have busing to go to school. And then it's like, oh, you're a bad parent. Because obviously I can't bring him in there at 9:30. That wouldn't be acceptable. But yet I'm supposed to stand here and deal with the busing.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. 1,000%. You're right. I think that it's ridiculous that the bus is overcrowded and no one is doing anything about it. We don't want that to be the space that you're sitting in, like 1-seaters, 2-seaters, 3 kids in a seat, and just the safety aspect. We want our children to feel safe and our parents to feel safe with their children on the bus. So I know I sound like a broken record, but please, guys, please forward your emails, send us the date of birth, the routes, the OSIS, your student ID number, send us that information and send us the complaints, send us the violations. We absolutely will make sure to advocate on your behalf. If you want us to speak to your principals or anybody else, wherever you need us to jump in this to try to assist, hush, Christian, to jump in and assist, we absolutely will do that on your behalf. Again, I'm really sorry to hear this. We have a lot of work to do, and guys, please know that we're doing it, but we also need your voices. If there's spaces, we're going to email you guys. Know this. The guides in English and Spanish, we're going to send out to you. Everything that we told you on the website, we're going to send out to you. The rallying information and how we can help support, we're going to send to you. Kofi, stop. We're going to send to you guys. Miss Sarah, please make sure any information that we can forward all of the attendees and those who registered, that we have that so we can send it out. And we'll share the list with you as well so that they can continue to get additional busing support so that they know that we are a community of support.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you as well, Ms. Jarvis, for sharing. Next, Ms. Jadira Bernal.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
I just want to emphasize that I had 2 messages that I didn't see, so I have 2 last questions. Miss Sarah, you still have your hand up as well to speak? Or that was from earlier? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Ms. Jadira.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I had 2 questions. I don't think it was asked yet. Well, one was regarding the busing app. I use it on the web. I was told that it's better. It is less glitchy, but I obviously think it's effective when it comes to live time in the morning or the afternoon. I'm not sure what can be done with it, if they can try to perfect it better. So at least we have a sense of that the busing is on a good timing. Um, heading to school or being dropped off at my child's after school program. And my last question was regarding when a driver calls out last minute. It seems like there's no plan B on a recoverable driver to be able to take the kids to their schools in the morning or in the afternoon.
That's something very real because there is a shortage of drivers. There's a shortage of paraprofessionals. There's a shortage of drivers, and that's what a lot of people and legislators are trying to figure out. What can we do? What incentives can we give? What can we do to make people want to drive? And our council is working with a pipeline with CUNY in regard to paraprofessionals and things of that nature, and we're still trying to fight side by side to figure out what is going on with the drivers. Why do people not want to drive? Why is there a shortage? What can we do to incentivize people to drive? But that's a big sticking point right now, that they have a shortage of drivers.
The next one is Nasimi Fideji. Sorry if I said your name wrong.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fidaya. I want to talk about a couple of things.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
Oh, it's okay. It's not an easy name. But my son has just joined District 75, and there's a huge discrepancy on support for D31 and D75. I'm sure most of you know that, but I'm getting to experience it now. Similar to the caller before me, my son is 15, high school, first year in high school, and he is 6 feet, 170 pounds, and he is being forced to sit in a seat that is for one person. He's literally hanging off the seat. He can't close his seatbelt. I've got all the complaints in, I've got the school involved, but it's just interesting to see um, that there just is no recourse. There's no like, oh, so the seatbelt doesn't close. Oh, well. And then today, the bus attendant, who was very nice and kind, she's like, oh, by the way, today we have a new kid on board on the way home. So technically, my son, because it's D75, his school shuts down earlier than the high school, so they stop busing at 1:40 p.m. And the District 31 in the same school starts busing at 2:20. So it's a 40-minute discrepancy. So they're picking up 14 District 75 children, the ones that matter less, obviously, higher needs, having them wait in the bus for this one child from District 31, 40 minutes later, and then starting the route. Luckily for us, we do have, limited time travel, which is 60 minutes. My son is the first drop off, but with that 40 minutes plus his 30-minute ride, he passes the 60 minutes, which I put a complaint in for. So I besides, I'm beyond the fact that you can have 14 kids wait in a bus for one child that's 40 minutes later because it's the same school. So I am dealing with it. I had a question about specifics on who took over. Like, for example, who took over for Kevin Moran? Would you know that to the president of this committee?
I can look it up. They did actually tell us that in our last meeting with the chancellor, so I can find that out for you.
As I go straight up, when you say I deal with the assistant director, because I've got a bunch of emails about to go out tonight.
Glenn Risbrook is the senior executive director. That's who we'll be meeting with.
That's who you deal with. Yeah, this is just, I'm going to get it out.
And then for District 31, Christy Montalvan, she's a former member for CCD75. She was vice president here she was here for 4 years or more. She's actually your D75 representative. You're in Staten Island?
Yeah, I saw her on the last call. I remember seeing her name.
Christy is someone that absolutely will fight on your behalf. We will continue to support her and see what is going on with this. This is ridiculous. I've heard this before where students need more space on the bus, but they're not getting that. And then actually.
And he was coded so what I thought to make it better, I had him coded for 2 seats, right? Perfect. And the bus attendant's like, I'm sorry, we can't do it. I have 5 kids coded for 2 seats, so your kid has to share. So for the first week, he sat next to her. which I actually preferred because, I just don't want him to get in a situation where touching, talking, whatever it is, and
Mhm.
there's a behavior that comes about. I don't want him to be involved in a behavior against him or him against the other person. So, yeah, it's the smallest minibus made for elementary school children. They're one seaters throughout, and they're pushing two kids in each one. And I have a picture of him. If I show you, to break your heart, he's literally hanging off. His knees are jammed in on the left side.
Would you be comfortable
Oh, I'll
forwarding that
share it.
to the
I'm
council
going to
so we
forward
can?
it. I'm going to
Yes,
forward it because they have the wrong one. I've never had an issue with OPT. I deal with them directly, all the way to Kevin. But I would love to hear who his replacement is. I'm still going to email Kevin, and just get this out there. And my heart breaks for the people on this call who don't speak English as a first language. I can't even imagine how they're getting through this. And it's such a disgrace. I wish I could speak Spanish and advocate for everyone. I'm glad you guys are doing it because it is it's just heart-wrenching to hear this, and I think the more it's very important to actually put those complaints in so you have those numbers, because once you put that in, once I put that complaint in, it's like, oh, Joseph Soto, oh, guess what, we took a kid off, so tomorrow your son will have his own seat. I'm like, I don't care about that. How about the waiting for 40 minutes? And then
I'll
you
tell
have
you, I think that Kevin is the acting deputy chancellor for operations, so you still may be able to
still the
reach
big
out
he's
to
still
him.
up there. I just curious, you said Glenn Wisbrook is under him.
He is the senior executive director for OPT.
Okay, got it. So I have him on my email chain. Yeah, they're going to hear it. I usually actually send before District 75, I used to send thank you emails because they were so different. And now my email is very different about higher needs populations, children with more support. Maybe some can't speak, and that's the issue. My son told me, by the way, I had to wait for 39 minutes because he has like OCD about time. I'm like, where did you wait for 39? Because I was wondering. And also for half of you on here, if you can get the angel sense, that's what I have on my son's book bag.
Yes,
And
I
pay
added
for it,
on the
yeah,
chat.
pay for it through self-direction budget. I actually am a broker, by the way. And you could pay for it through the budget, the monthly fee. And then you
Mhm.
can track every single place they stop. If they stop for longer than 5 minutes, it alerts you and says your child is in the wrong. Forget the app of the Via app, have your own app and just really, I just track where my son is. I snap the picture when it's taking too long. I snap the picture if they're going too fast. I don't use it for listening in. I just use it for tracking, because you got to be careful. There's other students there. It's turned off the listening in feature for me. I just do it to know where he is. Sometimes they decide to stop, for 5 minutes to go get something at a corner store. I kid you not, they do, and it shows you in real time where they are. So it's important to try to get that if you can. It's very expensive, but if you do have self-direction, it will pay for it through the budget, which is really great. Or
Thank
you
you so
can put
much
one
for
of those
that.
Apple things on it. That's cheaper,
Yes.
I don't know what they're called. But I just wanted to, I'm actually going to email you guys because I really think this is a big issue and much worse for District 75 children. And I can't stand for that. That's not.
And I want to say, just because I know that you guys are fighting a lot with us, please, you parents can become members of this committee. You absolutely can do the work with us, and we would love for you to do that. So if you do want to be a consistent part of this committee and do work even outside of this specific meeting, please do let us know and email Vice President and Chair of this busing committee, Bonilla, at CCD75 bussingissues@gmail.com. Back to you, Vice President Bonilla. Please do. Thank you, Miss, so much.
Thank you.
I look
Yeah.
forward to the pictures in the email so we can
Yeah.
assist you further.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So
Miss Bonilla.
I saw Antonia Ramos on the chat.
Sí, buenas noches.
The last question would be Marilu Sadalan, just for the interest of time, as we have also interpreters, and we will have to let them go. But yes, Miss Antonia Ramos.
Sí, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Mire, yo tengo el mismo problema con los otros padres que están teniendo con los autobuses. Mi niña lo pasan a recoger a las 6:35 de la mañana y está llegando a la escuela a las 9 de la mañana. So, mucho tiempo que está pasando en el autobús. Yo he llamado varias veces al OPT y solo me dicen que van a poner el reporte, pero no me han dicho nada si lo van a... Yo dije que quiero que me la pongan en un autobús más pequeño con menos niños, porque el autobús tiene 24 niños y dice que pasan a recoger en 4 escuelas, que pasa a dejar los niños. Y entonces en la tarde, el primer día de clases, me la pasaron a dejar a las 6 de la tarde. Y entonces yo llamé y me dijeron que iban a poner el reporte, lo mismo. Y entonces en una semana entera yo estuve yendo a dejar a mi niña en la mañana y recogerlo en la tarde, porque es el mismo horario que lo pasan a dejar. Entonces, yo quiero, bueno, quiero ver si me pueden poner, cambiarlo de ruta o ponerlo en un autobús más pequeño con menos niños, porque hasta
Si
ahora en este momento está igual. Me la pasan a
puede
recoger muy
coger mi
temprano.
número para poder llamarme mañana para tomar más información en su caso específico y podría ayudar.
Ok, está bien, sí. Sí,
Ok,
gracias porque igual yo también tengo la queja porque el autobús no tiene aire y mi niña llega bien sudada a la casa.
ok. ¿Aún tiene para apuntar?
Yo ya lo tomé en el chat que usted puso, el número.
Sí, el de 347-508-2130.
Sí,
Ok, so usted me da una llamada mañana para poder seguir en los detalles de cómo podríamos ayudar, para también
ok,
ayudar a los padres con los papeles que necesita del doctor.
sí. ¿Y a qué hora le puedo llamar?
Puede llamar después de las 9.
Ok, está bien, sí, yo le llamo. Muchísimas gracias.
Ok, de nada. Gracias a usted.
Gracias.
The last question, Marilu Sadalan. Marilu, Marilu Sadalan.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Delson. I'm Mary Lou's companion, and we share a child together that is a part of 75. I don't know the logistics of anything, but just thinking out loud about the shortage of drivers. Um, the city usually keeps a list of those candidates that are pending hire, and that list could run anywhere from a year or more. Is there any way that we could tap into the city's list of potential up and coming bus drivers that may want to do do this and for the interim until they're actually hired by the city to drive that city bus? Is there any way we can link with them? And that way we're assured drivers and also we we'll have like a bullpen of drivers to pull from in case, there's an illness or an emergency. Is that, does that sound doable? Does that sound reasonable? Does it sound like maybe,
That
you know,
sounds like a great suggestion that I gotta tag Miss Sarah in. Miss Sarah,
anybody?
are you available?
I'm
Did you type?
excited about that. Yes, because we've been brainstorming with like everything we could think of, but didn't think of that one. So it just goes to show you, like we said from the very beginning, the wrong people run this system and make decisions that they do not have to live with, that we have to live with, and the children and the workers. Um, so yeah, we have seen like the state also has a list of people with that CDL license.
Okay,
Um, and we started to talk about it earlier. There's your District 79. You have adult education even from um, the public school system. So please, let's keep brainstorming. The the school board made some kind of commission. I'm going tomorrow to find out if there's really anything to it. But if so, at the end of next month, they're having a hearing for public comment. Yeah, it thank you. And you know, this is why we put our heads together, and it's not one person's problem. It's the whole community's problem.
Yeah, I would think that they would have a waiting list pending and that and someone might be grateful to like do this in an interim. And as an incentive, you could probably move them up on the list as an incentive if they did this type of work. You know, so they go up on the list. It gives them an edge, and it will give them an incentive to do this. They already probably have the training, they have the demeanor, and so it's just a matter of kind of putting them in place. And again, having a bullpen in case you need a substitute, because you never know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you as well for your time.
As we move into wrapping up the meeting, guys, I know we've been here for a couple of hours, and 2 hours and 22 minutes. I believe in synchronicity. We want you to know that we're here to support you. We do want to check in before we go, guys. Did we check in with interpretation, Stephanie?
No, we were gonna do that now.
Okay. If we can check to see if we have any questions in Mandarin, Spanish, and or Bangla. And while we do so, guys, please do remember October 1st, 6 p.m. We do have our meeting at 400 First Avenue. It's in person and virtual. If you do choose to come in person, we do have food and we do have childcare. Just let us know if that is what your plan is. We are here to support you in any manner that we can. Do we have any questions in the interpretation rooms?
No questions on the Spanish line.
No questions on the Mandarin line.
No question in Bangla line as well.
With that being said, do you have any other follow-ups that you want to give, Vice President Bonilla?
No, just want to say thank you all again for joining us today and sharing your stories and your concerns, your suggestions as to how we can work better in advocating in order for all of our babies to get the transportation that they need. I also encourage you all, even if you did not get to speak and you have a concern, you're dealing with a situation with busing, you heard many stories as to what are we helping with, please reach out to us in the emails. Please reach out in the cell phone number as well. I receive text messages as well and voicemails, and I could get back to you. That way we could expedite all of these concerns, especially the kids that are not being routed or that are arriving late for school and arriving home. All right. Thank you all again for joining us, and I appreciate your time.
Also, guys, don't forget CCD75 outreach on YouTube. This meeting it is recorded. It will be posted. You will be able to rewind, press play, or jump back into anything that you've missed. We're going to try to have this up on tomorrow. Do you want to timestamp us out, Vice President?
Yes, it is 8:25 p.m.
We are now releasing interpreters. Everyone have a great night. And if anything happens tomorrow, make those violations. Email us the violations. Let us stand in the gap to support you. Sleep well and have a great tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.